tonight we're reading the patriarch era, Genesis 12 to 50. Any parent will admit that rearing children is a challenging and I want to enjoy my children. Psychologist Henry Brander tells the story of the time he and his wife invited the president of the college he was attending in their house for dinner. They were nervous and had spent considerable time preparing the house and the meal for a guest impression. When the president arrived, they stumbled over themselves to make him comfortable. They sat him next to their 2-year-old daughter for the meal. That was a mistake. During the meal, this little daughter tot said to the president in her bird-like voice, "Please pass the salt." No one paid attention. They were listening to the president, so she tried again, "Will you please pass the salt?" Her small voice was easy to ignore as the adults strained for the president's every word. Finally, she hammered the distinguished guest on the arm and yelled, "Pass me the salt or I'll knock your block off." Even a president of the United States was perplexed by the antics of this child. Alice Roosevelt, daughter of Theodore Roosevelt, was an unruly girl whose antics scandalized the state Washington society. During her father's tenure at the White House, when a visitor objected to the girls wandering in and out of the president's office while he was conducting important business with her father, Roosevelt said, "I can be President of the United States, or I can control Alice. I cannot possibly do both." The patriarch era was a time of godly men, patriarchs, presiding over their growing family. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph, successive generations of the same family ruled over the Hebrew people in the earliest days of their existence. On more than one occasion, Abraham must have felt a title like Brandt and Roosevelt. His descendants did not always believe the way he wanted them to, passion for God and what he wanted to do in and through the Hebrew people burned like a flame in Abraham's heart, but the flame dimmed in successive generations. However, the time of slavery in Egypt sharpened the spiritual hunger of the Hebrew people, and a great family which became a great nation emerged. Now let's review. Reputation is the key to mental ownership. Fill in the blanks and bring the chart up to date with this era. To check your answers, see the appendix. The story of the Old Testament, fill in your era, your figure, and your location. And the storyline summary is Adam is created by God, but he, fill in the blank, and fill in the blank. God's original, fill in the blank, for man. And the second storyline is to be completed in this chapter. Now we're on to the storyline summary. Abraham is chosen by God to father people to represent God in the world. Now the expansion is there are four major men in the patriarch era. One is Abraham, two is Isaac, three is Jacob, and four is Joseph. And now we're on to Abraham, father of the Hebrew people, Genesis 12 to 23. Because of Adam, sin and the fall of man, God's attention is now focused on a plan of redemption for mankind. God wants people through whom he can work to produce a reflection of himself and through whom he can spread the message of redemption to the world. He chooses Abraham, who becomes the father of the Hebrew people, and promises him a country, land, countless descendants, seed, and a worldwide and timeless impact. Blessings. Abraham is living in or near the convergence of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers at the time. God leads him to the land of Canaan, where Abraham settles and has two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Now we're on to Isaac, the second father of promise, Genesis 24 to 26. Isaac becomes the second father of promise as the fulfillment of Abraham's promises is passed down to him. He witnesses several major miracles during his life. He lives in the land of Abraham, becomes prosperous, and dies at an old age after having fathered two sons. Isaiah and Jacob, and thirdly, Jacob, father of the nation of Israel, Genesis 27 to 35. The promises given to Abraham are passed through Isaac to Jacob. Isaac's younger son, Jacob, begins life as a conniving scoundrel. However, through a series of miracles and encounters with God, he mends his ways. Jacob has 12 sons, and the promises of Abraham are passed down to them all as a family. While Abraham is the father of the Hebrew people, Jacob is the father of the nation of Israel. As from the 12 sons emerged the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Now fourthly, Joseph, the leader in Egypt, Genesis 37 to 50. Jacob's sons, for the most part, have very little commitment to God's call on them as a nation. They sell their brother Joseph as a slave, and he is taken to Egypt. Because of this righteousness and God's faithfulness, Joseph rises to become a great leader in Egypt. During a severe famine, his family comes to Egypt for food, is reunited with Joseph, and as a result enjoys peace and comfort. After Joseph dies, however, his people are enslaved for the next 400 years. This time of the trial sharpens the spiritual hunger of the Hebrew people, and they cry out to God for deliverance. Now the self-test. What you can learn tomorrow is built on what you learned today. Major figures of the patriarch era. Write the correct number in the blank from the options to the right. The figure is Abraham. Write down the number and the father of the nation of Israel. Secondly, Isaac. Write the number and the leader in Egypt. Thirdly, Jacob. Write the number, the father of the Hebrew people. And lastly, Joseph, the number and the second father of promise. Now the storyline summary. The patriarch, and the summary is fill in the blanks. Abraham is blank by God in God to father, blank to blank God in the world. Arc of Bible history. Fill in the number of the era to check your answers. Use the appendix. The geography of the patriarch era. Oh yeah, we have it here. Now to finish with the story of the Old Testament is the rest of the self-test. Write in your era, your figure, and your location, your storyline summary. Adam is created by God, but he blank and blank God's original blank for man. And lastly, write in your era, your figure, and your location. And the storyline summary is Abraham is blank by God and father, a blank at blank God to the world. And that's all for today. Thank you.